evening, everybody. Welcome back to Chef McKay's Budget Gourmet. I am, as usual, Chef McKay. Got something fun planned for tonight. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks for the world, so I figured we'd do something nice and casual. While at the same time satisfying as always. So tonight's recipe is a gluten-free stuffed crust cheese pizza. It's a really easy recipe. So yeah, that's the plan for tonight. Stuffed crust barbecue chicken pizza. Alright, so first thing we're going to need to do, for the crust, because this is a gluten-free pizza, you can't use the normal ingredients that you would normally get for pizza. So, first thing you're going to want to start with is some shredded cheese, the mozzarella kind. And you're going to want roughly, give or take, I go a little bit more on the give side because I like my pizzas a little bit larger because it helps make them go longer for meal prepping. So, first thing you're going to want is 2 cups, almost 3 today, of shredded mozzarella cheese. And you're going to want to then take your mozzarella cheese and microwave it on high for about a minute. You don't want to go too long or too high. You don't want to burn or crispify your cheese. You want to get it all nice and melty. While that looks like I need to get a new microwave. Mine seems to not agree with the Wi-Fi. So after you take it out for a minute, you're going to want to mix it up with a fork, making sure that you can get it. So we're going to have to stick this one back in the microwave again. There might be a quick disconnect. Hello, Brad. We are making barbecue chicken stuffed crust pizza tonight. So it doesn't look like I melted my cheese just enough, so it's going to have to go back into the microwave for another 30 seconds. There might be some connection issues. I have Sorry about that. As mentioned, my microwave doesn't really agree with my phone. I could absolutely bring, not my phone, my Wi-Fi. So I could absolutely bring you some if you're anywhere near where I live. Or you could come get some from me. I don't know. Of course, that would violate all the COVID lockdowns that are going on. Anyway, besides the point. Once you get your cheese nice and melted, you're going to want to get 2/3 of a cup of almond flour. Almond flour is a flour alternative, one that is actually pretty easy to find. Most grocery stores I've been to have it. It's only like corner stores that don't have it. But you're going to want to mix that in with a fork. You don't want to use your hands, as this stuff is hella hot, and you will burn yourself. Once you get it where most of the almond flour has been well mixed in with the molten cheese, you will have your pizza dough. This is a recipe that I adore because I love pizza, but I hate making regular pizza dough for myself. It just takes so long. There's a lot you can have go wrong, where this is so simple. And it's gluten-free for those of you who have dietary concerns like that. So, next you're going to want to get some parchment paper and your baking stone. Put out your dough. Grab your rolling pin and gently roll out your dough. You want to be careful while doing this to make sure that you don't want to have a thin crust if you're doing a stuffed crust pizza, but you want to make sure you have enough crust where you'll be able to fold the pizza over, or the dough over rather, without turning this into a personal pan pizza. Unless you're intending to make a personal pan pizza, in which case, whatever floats your boat, honey. So as mentioned, we've got the oven going at 355 on convection. Once you get your dough rolled out, you're going to want to get some cheddar cheese, not mozzarella, cheddar. Tonight we have a lovely habanero cheddar. I like adding hot stuff to food, so if you don't like hot food, don't panic. You don't have to follow my recipe exactly. Just, some form of cheddar cheese will do. And you'll want to cut it into small chunks and place it far enough into your dough that you'll be able to fold it over and seal it in, giving you your stuffed crust. But you don't want to have it too thick or too rough, or else you'll tear the dough and you'll have the stuffed crust spilling out. I mean, it doesn't ruin it to have that happen, but I do feel that you get a better product if you don't have it happening. And who doesn't love stuffed crust pizza? But who doesn't want to pay to have? I don't know about you, but last time I checked, it was like $40 for a stuffed crust pizza. It's unreal. Plus, then you got to pay the delivery fees unless you're going to go get it yourself. Alright, once you get your cheese all out in a ring, you're going to want to lightly fold the dough over and crease it so that it doesn't leak out. This will also help give your crust, even though it's a gluten-free crust and won't naturally rise, It will give your crust a bit of a more traditional pizza crust shape, which will help actually later on. You can do this pizza crust, and not do a stuffed crust. But hey, I think we've all learned with how crazy this year's been so far. I think we've all learned a little bit of a reprieve. So this is your crust. You're going to want to put this in your oven for 15 minutes on 355, or until it is a nice golden. 10 to 15 minutes, but I find where I live, it's closer to 15. All right. Now that we've got the crust going, we can start on what comes next, which will be our toppings. As mentioned before, tonight we are doing barbecue chicken as the topping for our pizza. No, the crust doesn't need to be coated with anything. The cool thing about using mozzarella as the base, mozzarella has its own oil in it, so there is no need to add butter, oil, or ghee to try to make it golden brown like that. So for this pizza, we'll be using a little bit of fresh baby spinach. You're going to want to put that over a medium heat to get the leaves wilty, but you don't want to completely dry them out. You just want them to be less firm, where they're more malleable. The cool thing with pizza, it's one of those dishes that you can make your way, and everybody's way is going to be different, and everybody's way of how they enjoy their pizza will be different. So I'm making my barbecue chicken pizza the way I enjoy barbecue chicken pizza. But there's absolutely no reason why you can't have just a straight cheese pizza if you prefer straight cheese, or if you want to have pepperoni pizza, margarita pizza. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever why you wouldn't be able to have them. I'm also going to be throwing some habaneros on my pizza tonight. So you're going to want to, with habaneros, you're going to want to get them nice and small. Habaneros are a fantastic pepper to cook with, but they can quickly overpower just about anything they're put into if you let them. I thought about what kind of pizza I would be making tonight, and I had a couple ones that I was considering instead of the barbecue chicken. The barbecue chicken just ended up being the cheapest affair, and since we're Chef McKay's budget gourmet, I figured we'd go with the cheaper option. Total cost of this pizza is $20, which for a gluten-free stuffed crust pizza, I dare say is a fair price. Alright, so once you get your spinach wilty go ahead and take it off the heat so that it doesn't dry out or become burnt. Set it aside because you're going to come back and saute some things here. So once we get our habaneros sliced nice and thin, we'll be moving on. Boy, I don't know about you guys, but anytime I slice a hot pepper, I have the sudden urge to rub my face. And it's almost like the body wants to be punished. Anybody else get that? Fortunately, I long ago learned that you don't touch your face when dealing with anything remotely spicy. Even though I find spicy to be a sensation I'm quite comfortable with nowadays. Anyway, get your peppers, add them into your pan. I will also be adding in some yellow onions, some minced yellow onions that I had pre-made. And we will be getting those soft over a medium heat. I'm going to wash my hands real quick just so I don't have any habanero get in my eye. For those of you who are just joining us, we are making a stuffed crust gluten-free pizza with barbecue chicken as the topping. Gonna briefly step over and check our pizza, make sure we don't accidentally burn it, but we do have 9 minutes left on the timer, so I am less concerned with burning it. You want to make sure you don't accidentally burn your onions or your pepper. Neither are fun when they are burnt, nor are they tasty when they are burnt. You just want to make sure that they're not uncooked and are ready to be pizza toppings. Love cooking with peppers. Nothing clears the sinuses out faster. So I used to know this lady. She accidentally went to she went to the grocery store trying to buy some orange bell peppers for a salad. And she accidentally bought habaneros instead. And she put like 14 habaneros on her salad. Totally killed the salad. Habaneros, I love them, but good Lord, they will brutalize just about anything if you put them in large numbers. Whew. All right, so there are a couple of ways to do chicken in a pizza. we will be doing ground chicken or chicken sausage. You want to make sure you don't overpower the pizza with too much chicken. But you want to make sure that you don't have slices of the pizza that don't have any meat. We'll also be throwing in some barbecue seasoning and a tiny bit of the barbecue sauce that we have for tonight. As well as our black lava salt that we are so fond of. There are other ways you could do this. You could use cubed chicken or chicken strips. I find chicken sausage works, or ground chicken rather, or chicken sausage works best because it has just has less mass to it, which lets you not pile your pizza up too high. So you don't want to fully cook your chicken, but you want to get it almost there. You don't want it to dry out when it goes on the pizza with the cheese to fully finish cooking it. But you don't want to have undercooked chicken on your pizza, because that's how you get salmonella poisoning, which nobody wants. That smells delicious. I don't know about you, but I think barbecue chicken is one of my favorite ways to prepare chicken. Just in general. I think it smells delicious. Oh. Looks like our crust is ready to come out of the oven for the first one. Alright, so here's our crust. Looks lovely. We're going to let it settle a little bit. Bubbled up in the middle. That happens with cheese. So we're going to set it over here and let it cool just a little bit so that we can, while we get the rest of our toppings ready. Going to move the raw chicken out of the way, as well as the container or the tray that the chicken was on, so that we don't accidentally cross-contaminate. I have a few more ingredients to add in. When the chicken is ready to go on, we're going to just drain it off. It does have quite a bit of fluid on it. With onions, I think it depends on what you're cooking. I've always used sweet yellow onions when I'm doing barbecue stuff, which is they're a little bit more expensive, but I think their flavor profile better commingles with the flavor of barbecue. Anything. Red onions are, for me, and I could be entirely wrong. This is entirely subjective to your flavor palette that you are using. Yellow onions, white onions, red onions, it's entirely subjective to you. So if anybody tells you, oh, you can't use that onion for that, they might be right for them. But I personally find it is entirely subjective. I happen to love red onions on burgers and sandwiches like that. But I know a lot of people actually hate red onions because they have that stronger sulfuric taste to them. We'll be adding a little bit of pineapple and some sugar plum grapes, or sugar plum grape tomatoes rather. When you add pineapple to anything, especially if it's like a pizza, and yeah, I know I just committed a sin for the internet. Pineapple on pizza, how dare you? You want to make sure that you press it to get the juice out, so that you don't end up soaking whatever it is you're making in pineapple juice. As much as I love pineapple juice, it can end up being detrimental to whatever dish you're preparing. We'll be mincing our pineapple. By the way, our barbecue chicken is ready. I would have bought some canned tidbits, which takes the effort out of mincing pineapple out, but I didn't think to do that today, so I had to resort to hastily acquired fresh pineapple. Not that that's a bad thing. I can go ahead and make a spinach, pineapple, and orange and banana smoothie after this to go with my barbecue chicken pizza. Feeling very summery today, even though it's January. And anyway. All right. And then last, certainly not least, we'll be slicing up we'll do six small sugar plum cherry tomatoes, which are these lovely red button ones. As with pineapple, you want to make sure you get the juice around the seeds out so that you don't drown your breading with whatever it is you're making. Or with the tomato juice, rather. Sorry. All right. We'll go ahead and move our crust over here. In preparation of adding the sauce and the toppings. We'll do one more. So I've heard many, many ways of doing pizza, but I find that I prefer adding sauce first. So we are going to do a half cup of our barbecue sauce, or a little bit less than a half cup. We'll put in about that much and see where that gets us. Like as with the pineapple and cherry juice or cherry tomato juice, you don't want to drown your pizza in whatever sauce you're using. It looks like that was the right amount that I needed to get a nice even coating. All right, now we're going to take our barbecue chicken and lightly, we might have actually made a little bit too much chicken. It's okay, it just means we can make another pizza tomorrow or whatever. Lightly sprinkle our chicken, lightly sprinkle our onions and habaneros. Lightly sprinkle our pineapple, evenly distributing it all so that no one bite has more of anything than another. And that's a personal opinion. I don't like having a pizza that has one bite of olive and then a pizza that's all meat. If you prefer that way of doing your pizza, bravo. Pizza is one of those meals that you can make your way. It really is the Burger King or whatever restaurant had that as its slogan, have it your way. Was that Burger King? I'm pretty sure that was Burger King. All right. Lastly, we need some, and the spinach. Sorry, I forgot the spinach. That would have been disastrous. I love the spinach. Plus, the spinach adds a green coloring to an otherwise red and yellow and brown, because of the barbecue sauce, meal. And that is always a nice thing, having a nice, healthy balance of colors with your meal. Plus, spinach is super good for you. Lots of iron. Actually, I'm going to put the spinach on after the cheese. Give me just a moment. All right. Want to get a nice even coating of cheese, but you don't want it to drown the whole pizza, so just carefully spreading it out. Then add your spinach. So I can, if you guys would like, put the whole recipe that I used tonight on the website. Or if you would prefer, because habaneros aren't your thing, I can just do the crust. Or I could do both. Have one that's just the crust and then the other ingredients that I added tonight and how I prepared them. I actually think I might do that one. If you do decide to make a barbecue pizza of your own, be mindful of who you're preparing it for. Some people don't like pineapples or are allergic to pineapples. Some people don't like habaneros or anything spicy. Some people are lactose intolerant. If they are lactose intolerant, I highly recommend you tell them don't eat this pizza because, yeah, there's a lot of lactose in it. All right, with our pizza ready to go, we need to put it back in the oven for another 7 to 10 minutes to let the cheese melt and the crust finish baking. Where did I put my hot pads? There. But there's our pizza before it goes in. I think it looks delicious already, but you got to melt that cheese or else you've All right. Other than that, I think we're good to go ahead and start cleaning up. Help make our job a little easier at the end of the cooking. When doing this recipe, it is important to remember to put it on parchment paper. Otherwise, you won't be able to move it. And it won't come off the stone as easily, and you'll end up with casserole instead of a pizza. Not that casseroles are bad, but we're here to make pizza tonight, not casserole. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to ask them. We've got some time while the pizza finishes. I do love some pineapple. It's one of my favorite fruits of the common fruit types. My favorite fruit isn't very common, so I do have to enjoy it when it comes around. It's starting to become more common though, because people are realizing that it's super easy to grow, super cheap to grow. And is starting to pick up steam as a particularly healthy fruit alternative. All right. This will probably be my last stream in this kitchen, so who knows? Hopefully my next kitchen is a little, hopefully my next kitchen I'm able to figure out some better angles and sound dampening. That way we can improve the quality of these streams. That is, that is something on the back of my mind. So while I'm cleaning up, actually, it looks like I'll have one last day in this kitchen, one last stream in this kitchen, because I don't move until February. After that, I will have my own place, and there won't be any interruptions. I'll be able to do this as often or as little as I like. Not that this is a hassle. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't enjoy it, because I don't get paid for this. I just do it for fun. And because there are people out there who, like me, when I was younger, don't know how to cook. And that's sad, because cooking is good for the soul. Anyway. Looks like our pizza's done. Let me go ahead and pull it out. And we are actually going to throw it on its cooling rack briefly so that we can help make it easier to cut without deforming. But there we have our barbecue chicken pizza. Looks delicious, smells delicious. I'm super excited to try this one. I've made this crust many, many times, but I've never done a barbecue chicken pizza on it. So hopefully I did good. When doing pizzas, make sure you let them cool. They don't have to cool for like 5 hours or anything, but you want to let them cool long enough that they don't completely disintegrate when you go to cut them. And this is not just with this crust, this is with pretty much any pizza. If you don't let them cool enough, they cut very poorly. All right. Love it. Just the right amount of heat in that crust. If you are doing this without the intent of making anything spicy, just use a sharp cheddar. Any block kind of cheddar will work for the crust. And then just don't add habaneros into your mix. Do like bell peppers or something similar. If you don't like spicy, there's nothing wrong with that. Spicy is a very subjective flavor. Not everybody enjoys it. I do. I adore spicy food. Anyway, so that's our barbecue chicken pizza. As mentioned before, it is a gluten-free crust. And for those of you who are doing the keto diet, this crust is keto-friendly. Not a lot of major use for that if you're not doing keto, but it is a gluten-free crust that is a lot easier to do than having to wait and knead and rise a bread dough. But there we have our dough, or our pizza rather. The only downside to this crust, in my opinion at least, is that it is a little bit greasier than your standard pizza dough, by the sheer nature of that it's 50% cheese. And it's mozzarella cheese instead of something like cream cheese or one of the less oily cheeses. That can be averted by just, baking it on a parchment paper and transferring it off the parchment paper once it's cool, which you should do anyway. You don't want it just stagnant there. But that is something to keep track of when you do go to make this. It is a greasier, oilier pizza dough than bread dough because it doesn't absorb the oil, it expels the oil. That is the one benefit of a bread dough, that it will completely absorb the oil that goes into it. That has its own downsides, but you can cross that bridge when you come to it. All right. Delicious. Kind of a shorter stream tonight. I only wanted to do the one meal item. Keep things simple. Keep things from getting overly complex. Right. Go ahead and cut. So one benefit for spicy food, while I'm on that topic, is that capsaicin will actually help boost your metabolism, or so I've heard. I could be wrong, but it does kind of make sense to me because it makes you sweat. If you are allergic to capsaicin, so all humans are allergic to capsaicin. It is a toxic substance, but its varying degrees of toxicity to you will determine how you react to it. I probably could have let this cool a little bit longer, but I enjoy my pizza without having to nuke it. Anyway, let's go ahead and lower this down. Get this out of the way. And have some pizza. Yes, it looks fantastic. Let's see how it tastes real quick. While I'm giving you guys a taste test, let's go ahead and discuss what we will be doing for the stream on January 30th. I have nothing planned and wanted to put the control back in your hands. Oh, that is good. As well as what kind of budget we have for next one. One of these days I plan on doing or I don't actually plan on it. I hope to be able to put out like a full meal something. I don't know. If this channel takes off and I start making money off of it, I might hire some people to come help me with that. That's deep future though. This is more right now just for fun, for the shits and giggles of it. Let me tilt that down just a little bit. Alright, so next stream will be January 30th if we follow our bi-weekly schedule. I don't really have any plans. I do have something planned for the Valentine's Day episode. But that's less of a, oh wow, Valentine's Day, and more of a, it's Singles Awareness Day with all the chocolate that entails. As you can see, this cheese-based crust is durable enough to lift up. So it's not required to eat this with a fork like some of the alternative gluten-free crusts that I've seen. Yep, almond flour is extremely versatile. All right, so that's the barbecue chicken pizza. Looks like I've been going for about an hour. So I'll take another. It is currently 56. So if you guys want to take the next 4 or 5 minutes, hit me with suggestions for next, or comments or requests or anything for next time. Now's the time to do that. Otherwise, as soon as it hits the new hour, I think we'll go ahead and call it. Otherwise, if I don't get any suggestions, I'll just set the budget and the menu myself. Which is what I've been doing so far. Yeah. If you guys want to do habaneros with yours, I recommend you de-seed them unless you are used to the heat that habaneros put out. I find their heat to be quite enjoyable, so I left the seeds in for this time. But if you are inexperienced with peppers or a pepper, I recommend you leave the seeds out of it while preparing and cooking it. That way we don't have any people complaining that I told them to eat habaneros. Or people telling me I made their kids cry with spaghetti. That once happened to me. That was funny. It wasn't even that hot of spaghetti. Didn't even have jalapenos in it. But yeah, that looks like it's going to be the end for the stream. As always, the recipe will be posted on chefmckay.com in about an hour or so. That way, if you want to make this kind of pizza or pizza dough yourself, you'll be able to do it. Have a good day.